Hello, and welcome to Technology Reimagined. I'm your host, Ray Zazzo, and I'm thrilled to have you join us as we explore the transformative world of technology and its profound impact on our lives. Today, we continue focusing on artificial intelligence, a force that is reshaping how companies operate, innovate, and connect with their customers. In a world where businesses are moving faster than ever, artificial intelligence is no longer just a futuristic concept. It's a practical tool driving real results. By streamlining repetitive tasks, uncovering insights from vast amounts of data, and enabling smarter decision-making, AI is helping organizations boost efficiency, cut cost, and deliver better customer experiences. But there's so much more to this story than meets the eye. Almost every day, AI buzzes with breakthroughs. Existing models are improved. New models are sharper. Fresh use cases are transforming industries. And no-code, low-code platforms are making AI workflows and agents accessible to everyone. From intelligent agents that act like digital teammates to innovations that solve problems we didn't even know we had, the pace of change is electrifying. This is your invitation to get curious about AI. Dive in, explore what's possible, and discover how you can be part of this wave of innovation reshaping our world. The future's unfolding now. Don't just watch it, join it. I recently came across a great read, AI Value Creators, Beyond the Generative AI User Mindset, published by O'Reilly Media. It's written by Rob Thomas, IBM's SVP of Software and Chief Commercial Officer, Paul Zikopoulos, an IBM VP focused on skills and AI, and Kate Sewell, an IBM Research Director. And I got to tell you, folks, this book offers a compelling and grounded take on the potential of AI. The authors share a unifying sense of excitement describing the possibilities of generative AI and intelligent agents as nothing short of thrilling. Their insights challenge us to think beyond the basics and embrace AI as a catalyst for meaningful innovation. So with the help of NotebookLM, we've crafted a conversational summary of the AI Value Creators book. It captures the key ideas, and I'm confident you'll find this exploration as thought-provoking as I did. So let's get started.
Today, we're digging into something a lot of you have asked about. We're focusing on the key takeaways from the book AI Value Creators. Our mission, really, is to pull out the core knowledge on using AI for, actual business value.
Yeah, skipping the super technical jargon.
Exactly, and maybe find some surprising bits along the way.
And this book, it's really aimed at entrepreneurs, innovators, practical stuff.
It's by Rob Thomas and Paul Zikopoulos, IBM guys, right? And Kate Sewell from IBM Research.
Yeah, deep expertise there. And you see the endorsements, Will.im, Malcolm Gladwell, Jessica Sibley. It clearly struck a chord.
Definitely. And right off the bat, they hit you with this big idea.
The Netscape moment.
Yeah, comparing today's generative AI to 1993 when the Netscape browser kind of blew the doors open on the internet. Let's talk about that for a second.
Well, the core idea is democratization, right? Netscape made the web usable for, everyone.
Not just techies.
Exactly. And GenAI, especially with prompts, just using plain language, is doing something similar for AI capabilities.
So it's not just about simple automation anymore.
No, the book argues it's set to transform even really complex work, high-status knowledge work.
And they predict businesses will soon compete based on how they use AI, not just if they use it. That's quite a shift.
It really is. Which brings us to how this access translates into actual benefits.
Right.
And the book zeroes in on prompts. Suddenly, people without coding skills, without data science backgrounds.
They can talk to these powerful AI models.
In natural language, yeah.
Right.
It's like giving, as the book says, non-techies superpowers.
I like that. So productivity boosts aren't just for the specialists anymore.
Precisely.
Okay, so we have this powerful, more accessible tech. How do businesses actually, use it to create value?
That's really the heart of the book. And a big part is shifting your thinking. See, AI not just as a cost center,
but as a value generator.
Exactly. They frame this core decision leaders face.
Yeah.
Spend money to save money, efficiency, or spend money to make money, innovation.
And they add a third category for healthcare, right?
Yeah, spending money to save lives, which is crucial.
So AI can do both cut costs and drive transformation. New ways of doing business.
Absolutely.
Can you give us an example from the book? How does this value generation look in practice?
Sure. They talk about using agentic AI. Think AI agents analyzing customer support tickets.
Okay.
So these agents sift through tons of data, find patterns, suggest fixes, even create reports and charts.
All aimed at what? Improving the customer experience.
Right, boosting things like your net promoter score, your NPS,
Yeah.
which ultimately ties back to revenue, better satisfaction, better retention. It's spending AI money to make money.
That makes a lot of sense, but where do you start if you're a business just dipping your toes in? It can feel overwhelming.
Totally. And the advice is pretty down to earth. Start internal,
Yeah.
low-risk automation.
The spend money to save money stuff first.
Exactly. Get your feet wet with GenAI, maybe even before bringing in more complex agents. Build confidence.
Like their example of simplifying booking vacation days.
Yeah, that's a good one. Could be simple, just using natural language with the HR system.
Or more advanced.
Right, factoring in school holidays, company-wide days off, that kind of thing, making it smarter.
And the beauty of starting internally is,
Well, if something hiccups, if it doesn't quite work perfectly first time,
it's not a public relations disaster.
precisely, it's contained. You learn, you iterate, less pressure. It's a quiet failure, as they put it.
Okay, now the book talks about shifting left and right. That sounds interesting. What's that about?
Okay, so shifting left,
Hmm.
think about tackling problems earlier, way earlier in the process.
Like fixing a bug in software before it ships.
Exactly like that. Or a design flaw in a car before it hits the assembly line. Saves time, money, headaches, potentially lives.
Makes sense.
The book has this mantra. Every day, we walk by problems that can be solved or made better with technology.
And GenAI, with prompts, makes it easier for anyone to spot those problems and maybe suggest a fix.
That's the idea, empowering everyone. They give this example of mechanized wheelchairs.
Okay.
They often lack safety features we take for granted in cars. So an AI system giving real-time feedback.
Could prevent accidents.
Yeah, shift left. The injuries, the insurance claims, the costs. They mention Braze Mobility doing work in this space.
Wow, that's a really clear example. They also mentioned diabetic foot ulcers, right? Huge healthcare costs there.
Massive costs. And AI could help shift left by focusing on prevention, early detection.
Analyzing data to see who's high risk. Giving care advice.
Maybe even monitoring for early signs. Earlier intervention means better outcomes, lower costs. It's that proactive shift.
And internally, like the IBM example they shared, streamlining employee transfers.
Right. Fewer failed transfers, less wasted time and effort. They got significant think time back for the business. That's a perfect spend money to save money. Internal shift left.
Okay, so you shift left, you build capability, you save some money, and
Then you're ready to shift right.
which is the more transformative stuff.
Exactly. Using that confidence, that experience to go after the bigger spend money to make money initiatives. New products, new services, new business models entirely.
Got it. So we've got the principles, the why. What about the how? What are the key tips the book gives for actually doing this AI stuff?
Okay, 5 main ones. First, act with urgency.
But not panic.
Right. It's a pivotal moment, they say. You need a skills plan, you need to get moving, but thoughtfully. Like that fire drill analogy, rehearsed, not chaotic.
Makes sense. Strategic urgency. Tip 2.
Be an AI value creator, not just an occasional AI user. This is big. And don't just use off-the-shelf tools. Fine-tune models with your data. Own those models. They become valuable assets.
Like intellectual property, Barry Melancon even suggested they might become, what, financial assets on the books?
Yeah, that's the potential future view. It gives you control, differentiation. It's your AI advantage.
Which is why they warn against only using those external black box APIs.
Exactly. You don't know what's happening with your data, the training data provenance, the governance. You lose control.
Right. Okay, tip 3.
One model will not rule them all, so make a bet on community. Basically, embrace open source alongside proprietary models.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Precisely. Keep your platform flexible. Be ready to use Granite, Llama, DeepSeek, whatever works best for a given task. Avoid lock-in.
Flexibility is key. 4th tip sounds familiar.
Spend money to make money and save money. Just reinforcing that Link AI investments must drive real business outcomes, measurable ones.
And the 5th sounds critical.
It is. Be responsible, because trust is the ultimate license to operate. This is huge.
Building AI responsibly, transparently.
With governance baked in from the start, constantly managing your data, working with trusted partners, because trust, they say, is lost in buckets and gained in droplets.
Easily broken, hard to rebuild. So fairness, explainability, ethics are paramount.
Absolutely. Non-negotiable.
Okay, that's a strong foundation. Let's talk about the AI time-lapse concept. What's that about?
Right, figure 2.3 in the book. It basically shows how GenAI speeds everything up compared to traditional AI.
How so?
It lowers the bar. Less need for super specialized skills, maybe less data needed up front, faster development, less admin overhead, lower starting costs. It collapses the timeline.
And a key difference is the flexibility of the models themselves, the
Yeah,
LLMs.
big difference, yeah. Traditional AI often meant one model, one specific task.
Yeah.
LLMs. You can use the same core model for lots of different business tasks. Much more versatile.
Which brings us back to those concerns about just using external LLM services.
Right. If everyone uses the same thing, where's your competitive edge?
Good point.
And then there's the opacity issue. What are they doing with your data? What data did they train on? Who's accountable if it goes wrong? Lots of unknowns.
Yeah, that lack of transparency is definitely a worry for businesses. Which leads nicely into data strategy. The book dives into this.
It does. They introduce the data fabric idea.
Okay, what is that in simple terms?
Think of it as a way to access all your data, internal, external, securely and easily, without having to move it all to one place. It uses virtualization.
So easier, self-service access, but still governed and protected.
That's the goal. They also touch on data as a product and data mesh, treating data like a valuable product with curation, governance, lineage.
And underpinning all of this is the need for a solid information architecture, an IA strategy.
Absolutely fundamental. How you collect data, organize it, govern it, infuse it into processes. It's the foundation for AI success.
Plus the tools, right? Development environment.
Yeah, you need the environment to build, train, run models, link to your data storage and governance, sharing metadata, a whole ecosystem.
Got it. Now, something really practical they mention is customized brand voices using AI. That sounds useful.
Hugely useful. AI can generate these unique voices quickly now, no deep tech skills needed.
Benefits being?
More human-feeling customer interactions, but also cost savings. You can shift routine stuff from live agents to AI assistants, freeing up humans for complex issues.
Getting away from those awful press 1 for menus.
Please, yes, more natural conversational interactions. That's the aim.
We can all get behind that. The book also talks about AI agents and assistants. What's the difference and what can they do?
Okay, agents are more autonomous. They can figure out workflows, use tools, plan, execute, remember things to get tasks done.
And assistants?
More like tools helping humans. Think Otter.ai for notes, Grammarly for writing help, Microsoft Copilot, IBM's Watson Ox assistants. They augment us.
And you can build your own agents now, too. Platforms like Crew AI.
Yeah, Crew AI, BAI agent framework. Tools are emerging. And IBM has pre-built ones for specific areas like HR, plus their Watson Ox orchestrated platform to manage these workflows, often with low-code tools.
So when deciding what to apply AI to, what's the book's advice?
Focus on the business opportunity first, the outcome you want, not just let's do an AI project.
Learning from the past, like the Hadoop era.
Exactly. Lots of big data projects back then didn't deliver clear business value. GII makes building useful stuff faster, but you still need that business focus.
Right. Looking ahead, the book seems to avoid the extremes, the utopia or dystopia views of AI.
Yeah, they push for a more moderate, kind of positively slanted view. AI doesn't have to be world-ending to be world-changing.
Like other big tech shifts, social media, the internet itself, they had good and bad impacts.
Right. They mentioned the Turing test, as a measure of machine intelligence, but the focus is practical change, not science fiction.
They also bring up the productivity paradox. What's that?
It's this puzzle. We've had huge tech booms, but productivity growth has been, well, pretty sluggish.
In the U.S., Canada.
Yeah, they cite stats, and a McKinsey report suggesting the U.S. could add trillions to GDP if we just got back to older productivity growth rates.
Wow. And the link to AI is?
That AI can potentially unlock that stalled productivity, address those missed opportunities.
Okay, so to grab those opportunities, what does a business actually need in its AI platform, the core components?
3 main things, according to the book. First, a solid governance framework.
To manage everything.
Direct, manage, monitor all AI, GenAI, agents, traditional ML. Understand the models, explain them, spot bias or drift, ensure compliance. But also, governance for insights, using it to speed things up safely.
Not just red tape. Okay, second.
Integration points.
Yes.
SDKs, APIs.
Yes.
Ways to actually build the AI into your existing systems and products, make it seamless.
Makes sense. And third?
Agents and assistants. We talked about those empowering more people, solving those repeatable problems, democratizing the AI power.
Got it. And finally, the book really hammers home the skills aspect.
Oh yeah, the skills imperative. Getting the skills right individually and for the whole company is absolutely crucial.
What kind of skills?
They break it down. Business critical ones, specific skills for different roles, and core soft skills like critical thinking, collaboration.
And it's not just tech teams.
No, scaling skills across the board, even non-technical departments. Everyone needs some level of data literacy, which goes back to needing good data management and governance.
And the nature of work itself changes.
For pretty much everyone, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not replacing all jobs, but changing them. Like how Uber changed transport by combining existing tech in a new business model. AI will do that across many fields.
So continuous learning is key.
Absolutely. Tech skills have a short half-life. You need an ongoing upskilling plan.
Okay, so wrapping it all up, what's the single biggest takeaway from AI value creators?
I'd say it's a thinking person's playbook for actually using AI in business.
Mm-hmm.
It's practical, strategic, goes way beyond just the tech itself.
Empowering people to see the possibilities.
Yeah, and understand how GenAI has really democratized our relationship with AI, made it accessible.
That's a great summary. Which leads us to our final thought for you, the listener.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the problems, the frustrations, the inefficiencies you bump into every day. At work, anywhere.
Things you walk past. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, knowing a bit more about how AI can create value, could AI potentially help solve or improve any of those? How can you start thinking less like just an AI user and more like an AI value creator in your own world?
That's the challenge.
Something to mull over this week.
So what did you think? I hope you're as energized as I am about this book's vision for harnessing AI's potential. It's not just about adopting technology. It's about strategically creating value that sets businesses apart. The authors discuss several concepts, but these three in particular stood out to me. I've told family, friends, and clients that AI is bigger than the commercialization of the internet, and the author's idea of a Netscape moment for better AI captures that seismic shift we're witnessing. AI is becoming as accessible and game-changing as the internet was in the 90s. This raises the question, are we ready to seize this moment to redefine our industries, or will we risk being left behind? Secondly, the call to become a shifty business, shift left, and then you can shift right. It challenges us to rethink our approach to AI. By first focusing on cost-saving efficiencies, shifting left, businesses can free up resources to pursue bold, innovative opportunities, shifting right. This dynamic strategy prompts us to ask how we can balance immediate gains with long-term transformation to stay competitive. And lastly, the emphasis on upskilling as a cornerstone of AI's success raises a critical question. How can we ensure that our teams and society at large are equipped to harness AI's potential responsibility effectively? These ideas push us to consider not just the technology itself, but also its broader implications for how we work, how we learn, and innovate. If you're as intrigued as I am about where AI could lead us, I encourage you to explore further. Dive into an article, watch a video, and test drive GenAI tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, and Perplexity. Learn about the possibilities of using AI agents in your business. And stay tuned for upcoming episodes as we continue learning how AI transforms entire business models and our daily lives. As we close, here's something to consider. As AI advances, we expect to see even more innovative applications that will transform our world. Only time will tell. Thank you for tuning in to Technology Reimagined. If these ideas sparked your interest, I highly recommend picking up AI Value Creators, Beyond the Generative AI User Mindset. Until next time, keep exploring, questioning, and reimagining what's possible with technology. This is Ray Zazzo. Thank you for listening.